Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the channel. And today my friend Coach Punch and I want to give you a tutorial on how to improve your dribbles and fix as well. So if you find this video helpful in some ways, then please don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel so it could reach more people, and as well as it will support the channel. Thank you so much. As you guys always awesome. And now let's start the video with Coach Punch.
Hello again. So in this video, we're going to talk about more about ground dribbling, okay? And how to properly control the ball and have a bit more stable on your car, okay? So one of the first few things that you want to think about when trying to take over or try to take control over the ball is going to be the first few touches, okay? Those will always be the most important ones, so you're able to properly control the ball without pushing it too far out of your reach or into the opponent's reach, I should say, okay? So if the ball is coming towards you and so on, if you kind of let it hit you, it will always do something like this, right? It's going to bounce from you or something like that. But if you drive into it or jump into it or boost into it, what tends to happen is you're just going to be pushing the ball away, right? Even if I don't boost and I just hit it like this, you see? It doesn't matter. The ball will always kind of like, if you hit into it, it's always going to be pushing it further away, right? But, and of course, if you add boost to it, it's even worse, right? But if you instead let the ball actually hit you, what happens is it stays with you, okay? It's not going to run away, because even a tiny slight change of movement like me turning into it, you're always going to be pushing it away, right? Which means that if you're trying to take control, what you want to do as the first touch is kind of like let the ball touch you and then you try to control it, okay? Doesn't need to be like a ground dribble or anything like this. This goes for everything. Even if you're just trying to like keep it with you, boom. So that way from here you can do whatever you like, a hook shot or whatever it might be that you want to do in that situation, okay? So from there, if you're trying to build an actual ground play, right, or a ground dribbling, it's gonna come up to doing the same thing, right? So the control, and then from here, first few touches are very, very important as well. So that way the ball keeps being smooth on your car, right? There's basically two major ways of putting the ball on top of your car, okay? And now that you've understood like on how the first touches work and what to avoid doing so the ball doesn't run away from you, we can start talking about them. So as you've seen from the previous examples that I was doing, I'm pushing the ball more towards one side and then I go around it, but I don't turn into it. I let the ball actually touch me. Look, see? And that makes the ball bounce. It's very important that you let it touch, not the tip part of your car, because if it touches the tip part of your car, it's going to run away from you. You see? It's more like the middle side. Okay, boom. Okay. Not too much on the back, because if it's too much on the back, then you're going to struggle like getting underneath it. You're going to have to kind of like drive backwards and so on. So it's more on the middle-ish part of a car, boom, and then you get underneath it, okay? Now, it's very important that you control the throttle too for the next few steps, right? So it's not just about using boost and so on, and you don't want to rely so heavily on boost, because right here, otherwise you're always boosting and so on, and what's going to happen is the more you boost, the more momentum you're giving to the ball, meaning that you're going to struggle to like keep on following it, let's just say, until a certain point, right? Especially if you use it too much in the beginning. So it's very important that if you can, control the throttle here, right? And then only use boost as it's needed. The ball was like rolling down a bit too much to the back of the car, so I let go the throttle a little bit, okay? It's very important that you don't rely on boost too heavily, but you also want to kind of completely avoid using brakes unless it's really needed, because you overboosted or something like that. Right there, I needed to use a bit of brakes there, okay? Besides that, you really want to avoid it, right? Now, the reason being is because anytime you brake or do any drastic changes of momentum, you see, the ball starts to bounce. And bouncing not only makes it much, much harder to control, it also makes it basically impossible for you to do a proper flick, okay? Because if the ball is bouncing, you're not going to have that like smooth sling shot thing, okay? So it's very important that you, anything that you're doing, and that being also like making changes of direction and so on, they always need to be very smooth, so the ball like always stays like this. Okay, because the moment you start like changing direction like this, see, any too drastic change, it's always gonna do that, where it will always kind of like cause the ball to start like doing those little bounces, and that's when people struggle to do like a proper flick. Okay, so anytime you're trying to make a change of direction, try to be smooth about it. Okay, like especially if you're playing controller, you can just touch it a little bit to the side instead of like fully to the left or fully to the right, just like little changes. Okay, if you're on keyboard, you just gotta like almost physically tap it. Okay, but yeah, now some of you might have noticed as I have the ball on top of my car, I do have ball cam on. Okay, but that's because I got used to it. Actually, dribbling it without ball cam on tends to be a bit better because the camera is way more stable. The camera isn't just bouncing around with the ball, which ends up being a bit distracting. Okay, so it's quite important for you to, if you're starting it out, try to learn how to dribble without camera ball, without ball cam. Okay, because this most definitely is much better. Okay, now if you already got used to dribbling it with ball cam, just like me, you're completely fine. It's not because of that you're not gonna be getting better at the game and so on. It's just it's something you have to deal with. Let's just say. Yeah. Now, in terms of before we get into the actual thing of like dribbling and flicking and so on, I wanted to talk about the other way on how to set up the ball, right? The other way to set up the ball is going to be almost like hugging the ball. Give it some momentum, go around it, and once it's past the middle side of your car, you just gently turn into it. Okay? You have to be very close to it and gently turn into it. Don't max it out right away. It's kind of like tap, 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 and then you hold it. Okay? Boom. Gonna do it again. All right? That's basically about it. But usually the easiest way is gonna be like the one that I showed you. Give it some momentum. You go around it, let it tap you, boom, and then it's on top of your car. Right? Now, in terms of controlling it, it's basically everything that I've been saying till now. Keep it easy on the throttle. Okay, you don't need to be full throttle at all times because then it's gonna force you to just play off the boost. Okay, but being careful with like drastic changes of momentum and also drastic changes of direction too. Okay, all of those are very important. Now, something you can do anytime the ball is running away from you and so on, it's the same thing. So pay attention towards where the ball is rolling to. So that way you know if you need to boost, if you need to go more to the left, if you need to go more towards the right, and so on. I've heard people talking about taking a look at the white circle on the ground. That's usually not the best thing. You want to get more used to like looking in front of you and not so much towards the ground, let's just say. Okay? So try to pay a bit more attention to the ball, even though in the beginning might be a little bit harder. It should make things a bit easier so you're also aware of what's happening like in front of you. Okay? But usually you can tell where the ball is rolling to. So right here it's pretty standing, like it's almost standing still. Whoop. The ball started going a bit forward, so as I was like max throttle, I had to use a bit of boost, right? Right here, the ball's running away from me as I'm full throttle, so I'm using a bit of boost, you see? But right here, as the ball isn't like running away from me, I just keep on full throttle and I'll leave it. But the moment I see the ball like rolling down a tiny bit forward, I have to adjust myself right away, see? I'm half throttle, max throttle, lift it up a little bit, because the ball's going too far back, okay? So it's very important that you start paying a lot of attention to the ball, okay? Now, in terms of flicking, okay, and to reach into this part, it's very important that you really control on your setup. You really focus on your setup, sorry. And then you really work on your all like controlling the ball thing, okay? Because without that, it's going to be very hard for you to pull off a flick, right? And again, best way to go about practicing this, free play, so you do your own setup, right? It's very important that you do know how to put up a setup from anywhere you might need. So to do a flick, it's going to be the windshield area. That's going to be the sweet spot for you to be able to do a proper flick, okay? You have it higher, you let it drop down a little bit into the windshield, boom, okay? And the one that you can start with is going to be the front flick, because it's an easier one, all right? Windshield, double flip forward. But the one that I usually advise people to do is going to be diagonal flick, which is like this. So you tilt your car with some air roll like this, boom, and then boom, diagonal flip towards that side. And then here, if you're trying to push it to the right side, okay? Gonna do it like this. Start from here, so it's a bit easier, okay? Now, something that you can add to it is gonna be having a little bit more on the side of your car like this, and then you can have more angle with it. You see how much more angle I get? Because this, if you have it right in front of you, this is gonna be the max angle that you can get. Okay? But if you have it a bit more on the side of your car, you have it way more angle, okay? And as it's obvious, the higher it is on your car, the higher it's gonna go. You can use it to do like little pops and so on, okay? But usually around windshield area is gonna be the sweet spot for you to get like a really powerful and a really solid flick, okay? Just try to make sure that you don't boost too much right before you do it, because if the ball gets too much momentum or has too much momentum, it's just gonna run away from you the moment you try to do a flick, okay? Very important that you try to control that.
I hope this video improves your game, and if you want more, then don't forget to like and subscribe for more training coming soon on the channel. See you soon, guys. Have a good day.